Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, if you saw yesterday's video, that was kind of a part one of the African land snail. That was me collecting it from the store, completely unexpected. Oh, geezer. So yeah, I came into this pretty blind. Had to do a little bit of research last night. Obviously, got her home. And yeah, done a lot of research, done some modifications to the enclosure that he came in. So this is really part two where we're at now, day number 2. I brought him home last night. Day number 2, done some research, done a little bit of filming of him today, so that if anyone else is thinking about buying a African land snail, then this is a good place to start. Watch part 1. It's on the list, part 2 is here, so it is really your novice approach to it, really, and what we're expecting. As you know, we have lots of exotics and so forth, but this is the first African land snail. What are you doing?
8 Legs Only is brought to you by Reptile Growth Co. for all your reptile and invert needs. Shaboy!
Giant African land snail. Exactly what it says on the tin. It's giant, it's from Africa, and it's a snail. Okay, so Africa's a big place. So let's be more specific. They come from Kenya, they come from Somalia, and Mozambique. Okay, now as you can see, this is probably half grown. When he's stretched out, he's the size of your hand. But before we go there, let's get into the enclosure. Right guys, so as you can see, the enclosure is the same Tupperware box that the pet store gave me him in. This was a free gift. This was something I wasn't expecting, so I wasn't prepared. So I've added a little bit of plastic plants. Simple reason, he will destroy and eat any real ones. We got a cuttlefish in the corner. I'll explain that in a moment. We got a water dish. I'll explain that too. But all I'm doing now is just aerating the soil, kind of like you would do if you were preparing your garden for seeding and so forth. So we're just providing some oxygen into the substrate, allowing him to to bury down, to move around freely, and it not be a major problem for him. And guess what? You're lucky, because these guys are banned now in every state in America. They've just been found in Florida, which means that they've quarantined the entire area that they were found in, because they destroy agriculture like no one's business. And if you want to see how quick this guy destroys this carrot, stay tuned. This dude, when we got him home last night and done a little bit of rearranging his enclosure, ate 3 carrot sticks, and they were twice the length of that in about 2 hours. He was hungry. As you can see, I'm adding some moisture to the enclosure. I'm spraying on the plants. He won't drink from them, obviously. I'm moistening the substrate, especially paying attention to the sphagnum moss that's in there. I may provide a hide at a later date, because he does seem to have a little area where he likes to hide. Now the beauty of these snails, you can actually, if you want, use tap water. Now we're cleaning it with tap water, but we're not going to fill it up with tap water. because we can't give that to our spiders. We've got 60 tarantulas and frogs and mantis and so forth. So we will actually be adding pre-treated water to that. As we do the entire enclosure, every bit of water we use is pre-treated other than the water. So my friends, now we are adding isopods, and these are the cleanup crew. I haven't put any springtails in yet, but I probably will, because they will work perfectly. Now these isopods came from Steve Frost, who runs the Pod Exchange. Now this guy, I can't speak highly enough about. Not only is he an amazing friend from across the world, his service is second to none, and he will only charge you postage on any exchanges that you want to do. You can buy, but you can also exchange and just, pay postage. Come on, guys, it's a no-brainer. But anyway, he's given us some amazing isopods. Okay, come on, Gary. Time to get back in your enclosure. How do we do this? Come on.
3 hours later.
Are you taking the piss,
6
mate?
hours later.
Are you freaking kidding me right now?
Tomorrow.
Okay, guys, so back to that cuttlefish. So you're going to want to put a cuttlefish bone, whether it's a full one or half a one, in the corner of the enclosure. And the reason for that is so that they can regulate their own calcium intake. If you sprinkle it on the food, you run the risk of adding too much or too little, which could both be hazardous to your snail. Now, what you won't realise is these guys need protein as well, which tend to come in the way of carcasses, because that's what they'll move over in the wild. They'll go over bird carcasses, mice, rats, and all sorts. But they do need protein. They are predominantly vegetarians, but they do need protein. And you know what that means? You gotta throw a pinky in once a week for him to run his mouth over, unfortunately. Back to the size, as you can see, this is how big this guy is. And unfortunately, I'm going to show you the other side of it. But if you keep reptiles, it's not going to be a shock. So we're going to give him some, so that's some, what's that?
Spinach.
Spinach. Okay, and I've got, I'm a mouse. Look, I've got a little pinky. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's protein and he needs that, unfortunately, in his life. Because he does need protein. And I know it sounds horrible, but it's the code of the road, man. It's the circle of life. But it is, So, you work with the cards you dealt with. You play with the cards that you dealt with. Yeah. Right, I'm going to go and wash my hands. But that was the end of... So, guys, that was the end of the video. I've eaten my dinner since I filmed the last section. She's washing up. I know the cook never cleans, but I was trying to like this, so my apologies. Anyway, what did I miss in that video? I missed temperatures 70 to 75 degrees, which in the UK, if you have central heating, is kind of normal. I mean, what is it in here right now, though? If we go to the tarantula wall, 78 degrees. And then if we go over here, I have it converted to centigrade. So, so I try to keep an eye on all aspects. I've got, this over here so it's covered, I don't work with thermostats because I've got no animals that need a heat mat. But if you look at videos on YouTube, you will find that some of the people that keep these African land snails do have a heat mat on the side of the tank. Obviously not underneath, but on the side. And if you can afford to keep your central heating on in the winter, and you're going to keep constant temperatures, you don't need it. But the other side to that. If you can't, then you will need it. But this is a factory converted into a house, so it's they've overcompensated on the lagging, all the rest of it. So it's not something we need to worry about at all. And even with the other rooms, they're just as hot in the complex. So yeah, we're working on some big projects right now. Lots of conversions going on. I could show you, but if I give you a sneak peek, there's giant cat wheels in there, and we've got a room for the Sphinx. We've got some shells, we've got some wheels, we've got some all sorts. That's one of several. We've got the tarantulas all here as we speak. We've got the mantis there. We've got the spiderlings and the juveniles. Well, yeah, and some frogs down the bottom. So we've kind of got a lot of things going on. We've got them all in the main living area. But pretty soon, we're going to start converting different rooms to different setups. It's going to be a little bit crazy. We've got the room for it, and we're going to go for it. And if we decide that we want to upgrade to a larger premises, then we're going to do that, because this is our home. This isn't like I mean, if you want to come over, you can come over, but this is, that's not the plan. It's not like you can't get a tour. So in the future, that is what we're looking at. With the sponsor, with the collection, with a lot of things that are kind of in the pipeline at the moment. We are looking at possibly opening a centre. We've talked about alligators, and we've talked about camels. No, we haven't had a conversation like camels. We talked about goats. Anyway, where's she got camel? She's been watching so much China's Wildlife. Yeah, we're not talking camels. Jesus Christ. No, we're not. But anyway, we're looking at things progressing. But until then, it is what it is. Stay tuned. Exciting things are going to happen. I've come off of my long COVID medication now. Things are kind of panning out now perfectly. I think 2 years of long COVID was long enough, and I think I've got through it. And when I came off the medication, I kind of I think that might have been the cure. I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyway, 8 legs only. That's us, guys. And exciting things are going to happen. And don't forget, every single person that comments, or whether it's on Facebook, on my own personal Facebook, or on the 8 Legs Facebook account, the group page is kind of in a transition right now, because I'm banned for another 23 days, because I said I was going to kill the daddy long legs, and they banned me for hateful speech or something, because I said I was going to kill the daddy long legs that was buzzing me or something like that. Mark Zuckerberg. Anyway, right, hope you enjoyed the video. That's me signing out. Loads of new additions already. I've got some really exciting videos. I know I said I was going to upload the video of the pairing, but I do want to edit it more, because there's a lot of things that took ages that I can shorten and so forth. So anyway, it is what it is, and and as you know, I've just been through this kind of knock you out of your body experience, like kind of like this crazy bereavement in my life. So yeah, dealing with that as well. But yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back. So Stay tuned for some really exciting things, especially when we start cracking open alligator eggs.